Okay, students, let's do a plunging neckline here. So you can see a lot of the bust is exposed here when we cut all the way from the shoulder down to the belly button or to the waistline, right? It's center front. So let's do that. Let's start that manipulation. So here you're going to trace your bod front again. You're going to be sure you have the bust point and the bust circle on there, and you need to have your slash lines indicated for the contouring. So let's eyeball this. We're going to eyeball this here and create the lines for the design. So we're going to measure over about an inch here and make a mark. And then we're going to draw the line straight down here to the bottom of center front. Okay, notice how much of her bust is exposed here. Okay, so that means we're going to probably need to use this slash line here and probably this one. We'll see what other ones we need. Okay, what will the shoulder look like? Let's measure this. Let's say that's an inch also. And make a mark here. Here's our shoulder seam. Okay, let's cut away from her armhole here. Let's make that bigger, right? Maybe expose more of her shoulder there. So let's measure down a 1/2 inch here. This is a 1/2 inch. Let's measure down a 1/2 inch here. Make tick marks, and then we're going to use our ruler like we have been all semester, and we're going to make little tick marks here. And we're going to connect these lines. I'm doing this kind of fast. You can do your work there. Let's transfer this notch down to here. And now we have a new perimeter here. It already looks like our design with a plunging neckline, right? Here's our perimeter. Here's how much of the bust is exposed here. So now, this is what we've created. I want you to cut this apart. We're cutting away this excess here. Center front is actually going to be moved down to here. Okay, see that? We're cutting this perimeter out. We're cutting this away. Put an X on that, and this is all an X here. Okay, we are going to have to slash up to here, and we're probably going to have to slash here. We may even need to use these two. We don't know yet. But if we took a look at our dress form, which I previously pinned this up here to show you. This is what our design looks like right now. We can see we have a shoulder seam here, and this plunges all the way down to the waistline. And it looks pretty good, except for one thing. If you turn to the side here, you can see how far away this is from her skin, and that's a problem. This kind of a design, yes, we would use tape to put that in there, hold things in place, but that's not enough. And so a skilled pattern maker has to take out some length in this line here. We have to contour around the mounds of the body, and that's what we would do there, so that this lays down flat against her skin. Okay, so we have to shorten the length of this line. And as we cut away this armhole here, which I haven't done here yet, but what happens is oftentimes there's gapping right in here, and we need to slash to the bust point and overlap this to pinch out ease here too. Okay, so it isn't enough to just draw a design line straight down to the waist. This length of this line is too long because it's meant to go over a bust that's bridged. And now that it isn't, because we're creating this design around the mound of the body, we have to reduce length in this line. So how do we do that? We use the third principle. We use contouring. So what will be the next step is for us to slash here and overlap, and slash here and overlap. Then we have to slash up to the bust point, because when we slash these and overlap, this is going to cause the dart to get bigger, and you want that to happen. That's part of the shaping of the pattern piece. We're going to blend this line here. You can see how there's a bit of a jagged edge there, which we don't want in a design. We're going to have to blend this carefully. Just a little bit goes a long way, but we have to blend this line. And then we would want to sew this in muslin first to perfect the fit, because at this point we may need to slash here and overlap to take ease out of this if there's gapping on the armhole there. So now we have this perimeter. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to back the dart tip away from the bust point. Remember, we've been learning about that. We do not want to sew up to the bust point. It's not a good look. So we're going to back that off about 1/2 inch and redraw these dart legs here. So then what happens is our pattern piece looks like this, right? It's shaped like this. And we would probably, for something as skimpy or revealing as this, we would probably line this. So this would be cut 2 and then cut 2 of lining. So we do need seam allowance all around this here. And the fashion fabric would sew to the lining to create this design. Okay, now I'd like you to try the bodice back for this design as well, and think through the process. What would the back look like for this? This is so bare here in the front. You need to consider how should we shape the back so that it is supporting the rest of the design and will stay on her body well. I'll let you think through that, and you do the work for the bodice back, and then we will have completed our exercise for the plunging neckline.